Welcome to AI Brief, episode 282. This is the deep dive designed to give you the fastest route to being, well, really well informed on the big shifts happening in AI right now.
We've got quite a lineup today. We're going to unpack this major pivot happening in wearables, see how a new startup is sort of changing the game for model specialization.
And that Google DeepMind story about AI learning Minecraft, just through simulation.
Exactly. Mastering a whole world using essentially just its own internal thoughts. Pretty wild stuff.
Okay, sounds fascinating.
Hmm.
Let's start with that wearables battle, the smart glasses. Reports are saying Apple's basically canceling the cheaper Vision Pro follow-up.
Yeah, it looks like it. And it's not just shelving a product. They seem to be redirecting, those resources entirely, aiming squarely at AI smart glasses.
Right, specifically to take on Meta's Ray-Ban line, which has been pretty successful.
It's a fascinating shift, really. It's kind of an admission that the original Vision Pro, technically amazing, but the price, the weight, it just wasn't practical for most people.
Made a bit of an afterthought, yeah.
So now they're apparently looking towards maybe 2027 for something much simpler, no screen of its own, connects to your iPhone.
And the focus shifts entirely to voice, AI features, health tracking, all running off that upcoming Siri upgrade.
That seems to be the plan, which, puts enormous pressure on that Siri redesign.
Absolutely. If the voice part isn't seamless, revolutionary even, then the glasses are just, well, expensive frames with microphones.
Precisely. And Meta, they already have a big head start here. They rolled out the display glasses, the Neural Band for athletes, the newer Ray-Bans last year.
They've been pushing this idea for a while, haven't they? Zuckerberg keeps saying wearables, specifically glasses, are the ideal form factor for personal AI.
And this move from Apple kind of validates that view, doesn't it? Suggests the future of constant AI interaction might not be the phone, but something you wear.
Huge stakes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's pivot from consumer hardware to the infrastructure side of things. Mira Murati, ex-OpenAI CTO, her new startup.
Thinking Machines Lab. Yes, they just unveiled their first product. It's called Tinker.
Tinker. And the idea is different from just building one giant AI model.
Exactly. Tinker is betting that the future isn't just about one massive, do-everything AI, but making it way easier to create lots of specialized ones. Models that are really good at one particular thing.
So moving away from the generalist model trend we've seen.
Right. Tinker is essentially an API. It lets developers take existing big models, like Meta's Llama or Alibaba's Qwen, and fine-tune them.
Without needing all the crazy expensive hardware and complex setup usually involved.
That's the key. It handles the infrastructure management, the GPU clusters, the data pipelines, all that complex stuff that usually only huge companies can manage.
Well, it's democratizing that fine-tuning process. And the really interesting part, especially for researchers maybe.
It lets you adapt these models for highly specific tasks. Things like solving really complex math or analyzing niche chemistry data, specific scientific reasoning, stuff far beyond just chatting.
Makes sense. So you can build a model that's laser-focused.
And the early users seem to reflect that. You've got teams at Princeton, Stanford, Berkeley already using it to build custom AIs for their research needs.
So customization over just raw scale. It's a different approach.
It really is. It's prioritizing depth in specific areas over broad general ability. Could be a blueprint for the next wave of AI tools.
Okay, now for that DeepMind result. Dreamer 4. Mastering Minecraft. How exactly?
This is pretty mind-bending. Dreamer 4 managed to learn complex tasks, like being the first AI to collect diamonds in Minecraft. But here's the kicker. It did it purely by training inside its own simulated version of the game.
Wait, so it never actually played the real game during training?
Not during the learning phase, no. It built this predictive world model in its, an internal simulator of Minecraft's rules and physics, and just practiced there.
Practiced entirely offline in its head. The efficiency must be incredible.
Staggering, really. It learns the rules from videos first, then figures out decision-making, then practices thousands and thousands of actions, all simulated.
And it outperformed other models.
Significantly. Beat OpenAI's previous benchmark, the VPT agent, and apparently do so using 100 times less training data.
100 times less data. Just remind us, the VPT approach was based on?
VPT, visual pre-training. That agent learned by watching just massive amounts of video of humans playing Minecraft. Tens of thousands of hours.
So Dreamer 4 shows that a really good internal simulation can potentially replace needing enormous real-world data sets.
That seems to be the implication. High-fidelity simulation as a substitute for raw data.
Okay, so bigger picture. If it works for Minecraft, what about robotics? real-world tasks.
That's the exciting part. This simulation-based learning could translate really well beyond games. Think about training robots.
Safer, cheaper development.
Exactly. You could potentially replace a lot of expensive, time-consuming, maybe even dangerous real-world testing. Imagine training a factory robot arm or even a self-driving car AI almost entirely in simulation before it ever interacts with the physical world.
That could completely change the speed and safety of developing autonomous systems.
It really could redefine how we approach it.
Profound stuff. Okay, let's quickly touch on some of the other key developments from the week. Infrastructure, finance first.
Right. OpenAI again reported $500 billion valuation. But maybe more strategically important, they've apparently secured Samsung and SK Hynix as key chip suppliers for that massive Stargate data center project.
Planning to produce huge numbers of chips, like 900,000 a month. That signals serious long-term hardware planning.
Definitely locking down their supply chain. Then on the policy side, Meta made a big move.
Yes, using data from chats with Meta AI for ad targeting.
Starting December 16th, yeah, using that chat data to target ads on Facebook and Instagram. But interestingly, it excludes places with stricter privacy laws like the EU, UK, South Korea.
And users in the applicable regions can't opt out. That's significant.
It is. Shows the ongoing friction between AI data use and regulation.
Okay, shifting to the workplace. Claude on Slack.
Yeah, full integration. So Claude can now summarize Slack channels, help draft messages, prep meeting notes, and importantly, it respects all the existing permissions in the workspace.
Big productivity potential there for teams.
For sure. And speaking of tools, Hume AI launched Octave 2. It's a new text-to-speech model.
Multilingual.
Supports 11 languages, and it has new voice conversion features too. So more accessible, high-quality, expressive voice generation globally.
On the hardware side, Google's pushing AI deeper into the home.
Looks like it. Gemini-powered updates for Nest Cams, doorbells, all through a new app design. AI getting embedded further into smart home and security.
And in open source.
Zippo AI released GLM 4.6. It's an open source LLM, and the notable thing is a huge 200,000 token context window.
200K context window. That's like remembering multiple books worth of text in one go.
Pretty much. And early benchmarks suggest it's actually outperforming some established models like Claude Sonnet 4 in certain tests. Shows open source is really pushing the envelope.
We also saw character AI pull some Disney characters.
Yeah, Elsa, Darth Vader, others got a cease and desist from Disney. A reminder that IP holders are watching how these AI platforms use their assets very closely.
And finally, a reality check on AI news consumption.
Pew Research found about 9% of U.S. adults get news from AI now. But, and this is key, about a third of them find it hard to tell what's true when AI generates the news.
Underlines the need for critical thinking, definitely.
Absolutely.
So let's circle back to that Dreamer 4 idea. An AI mastering a complex world like Minecraft just by practicing in its own simulation. It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. It poses a fundamental question for you to chew on. If simulation quality gets good enough to largely replace real-world experience for learning, how much faster, cheaper, and maybe safer does developing intelligence become?
When you can potentially cut out the messy, expensive, sometimes dangerous real world,
Yeah.
what does that unlock?
It could change the whole cost structure of building intelligent systems. Powerful thought.
Indeed. Something to consider this week. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. If you found these insights valuable, please do follow AI Brief and maybe share this with others who want to stay ahead in AI.